This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Hello. Good morning, ladies.
Morning.
Hey, Ladies' Day.
How's it going?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the thing everyone's talking about, shall we? It's what you guys are already writing in about last night's Oscars. It was the smack heard round the world. And of course, we're talking about Will Smith hitting Chris Rock across the face and then yelling at him after he made fun of Will's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. It was censored here in America, but in case you missed it, here is the exchange. Take a look.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? Uh-oh, Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked out of me. It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
I'm going to, okay?
Yeah. So what did you all think of that? The one word that keeps coming up for me is just yucky. Just a yucky, sad, yucky feeling.
I'm just sad.
Yeah.
Like, I really am. It's amazing Chris Rock wasn't there because we were really being asked to laugh through the pain. Like, there was so much visceral pain.
Yes.
And, I mean, from the idea that, first of all, the joke was inappropriate. We know that Jada Pinkett Smith is suffering from alopecia, and also it was rooted in misogynoir. Don't ask for a black woman to be centered as the joke in this equation. Was Will's actions appropriate? Absolutely not. When it comes down to it, it's sad to me to see someone who has obviously hit their breaking point, but also the fact that Will Smith is such an icon in our pop culture and he hit that breaking point. It's sad to me that we should be talking about Will Packer and Shayla Cohen, who produced the best Oscars I've ever seen in my lifetime. It's sad to me that Questlove's moment was taken away by all of the chaos that was happening in that moment. It's sad to me that Chris Rock, who has spent 7 hours of therapy a week during the pandemic and lockdown, who's clearly going through something, experienced this regardless of the reasons why. It's just overall sad to me.
That's fair. What do you think, Linz?
I think, like you said, nobody wins in this moment. I think that Will Smith is at a breaking point, but everyone's like, oh, I can't believe it. But it's been like 2 years that we've been talking about him and his wife. Most recently, Laverne Cox on the red carpet asking if it's a situation going on, like if she's cheating still. And so we've been poking the bear for quite some time. And Will Smith is very upset. And I'm not condoning violence at all. And I think that Chris Rock handled it well by just continuing the show going on. But looking at this whole situation, I'm like, well, how long are we going to poke this man before he gets really, really upset? His wife is obviously over there hurting. He tried to laugh it off. It looks like he looked at her and was like...
We have a clip of that. Let's just go ahead and see this. Thank you for bringing this up. This is Will Smith. Right as the joke was told, we have him laughing. Is this right? And you can see him smiling. Now, Jada is really starting to get upset, and that's when things turned. Is that right?
And I think, like, as a professional, Will Smith dropped the ball completely. But as a husband, I don't know. I mean, and Colin is my partner for life, and we talked about this. He gets very upset when people upset me. And so I'm not saying, I know that he knows how to control himself, but this is not the first time that somebody's upset Jada or tried to poke the bear regarding their relationship. This happens over and over again, and he's been the butt of the joke for about 2 years straight. So you're asking somebody to really control themselves and be an adult, and like we expect on his biggest day, it's getting sabotaged by more jokes about his wife, who we don't know behind the scenes how much she was struggling with alopecia and what exactly that looks like. So I'm looking at it from the perspective of being a husband, but then also being a professional dropping the ball. But as a husband, a lot of people go into that fight or flight mode when their wife is in despair in that kind of way.
Yeah,
so
I
really don't know. As much as it's terrible and everybody's like, who was thinking about Chris Rock? Who's going to go ask if he's okay? We definitely need to do that. But some part of me is like, I understand why Will Smith was so upset.
Yeah, and the whole thing was just incredibly layered. It's very layered with black women's hair, jokes, comedians, free speech, violence. So I totally understand when it's a very layered conversation. Now, celebrities are speaking out about the smack on both sides. Some are not condoning Will's actions, including Judd Apatow, who said that's pure out of control rage and violence. But on the other side, we've got Tiffany Haddish, who supported Will, saying as a woman who has been unprotected, for someone to say, keep my wife's name out of your mouth, that's what your husband is supposed to do, right? Protect you. I do want to show real quick as well, Tyler Perry, just quickly what you were saying. Tyler Perry and Denzel Washington, if you didn't see this, right in the commercial break, too, other celebs went right over to Will Smith there, right there. He is visibly crying and wiping tears from his eyes. Bradley Cooper also at one point spent a lot of time talking to Will. Chris Rock was sort of separated at this moment. But what do you think about the celebs' reaction, and should it have been done that night at the Oscars on live TV? What do you think, Erica?
Well, I think Will needed to be attended to. So did Chris Rock.
Totally,
both
totally.
of them. We don't know that Chris Rock was off stage, so we don't know who came to his aid, or if anyone did.
Right.
But what Will Smith later said in his acceptance speech, which was, at that point, I was so like
flustered.
I was just.
Yeah, we have the
I was walking back and forth like I was just. I didn't know what to do.
Bed. I was curled
I didn't know what to do. Like I was just freaking out.
Let's go to the speech really quick, just so we can see. Go to the speech really quick, so we can have the acceptance speech. Go ahead.
I want to apologize to the Academy. I want to apologize to all my fellow nominees. Art imitates life. I look like the crazy father, just like they said. I look like crazy father, just like they said about Richard Williams. But love will make you do crazy things.
All right, what do you think about that? Continue, sorry.
Yeah, I completely forgot that I also feel terrible for Venus and Serena, too.
Right.
Because, I mean, obviously this was a big night for everyone. But what he said, what Will Smith said about Denzel Washington, the idea that at your biggest moment is when the devil will come in. It will happen every time. And I'm not a perfect person. I have certainly been pushed to a breaking point where I've acted out of character. I think we all have, but when we're seeing it displayed in this way, regardless of which side you are agreeing with or feel like is right or wrong, it's traumatic.
Yeah.
It's a trauma because we're tapping into when that happened to us or someone that we love.
It did feel traumatic, didn't it? I ran into the dark and couldn't watch I heard the Oscars, but couldn't watch another second. I couldn't do it.
And Will Smith in that speech also talked about how when you're at any platform and people have access to you, you have to accept disrespect. And so that's something that I think that we all had, you know, even at the smallest level, you know, people will say anything to you with social media. Our other host, Jeff, always talks about this. People just have this access to you, and sometimes it can hurt your feelings. You're a normal person. And so reacting with violence is never appropriate, but getting out of character makes sense a few times in your life when people are constantly coming at you or somebody that you love endlessly.
Yeah,
and so it just, you know, it's heartbreaking to see this whole thing happen, understanding how offended that I've got over smaller things that don't involve somebody that I'm spending the rest of my life with.
On the other side, he's not a Hollywood rookie, and he's been through it. And to react that way after all he's been through, after so many Oscars where they make fun of everybody, to me was totally unacceptable.
Yeah, but on the flip side of that, going through it for that long
can be also unacceptable.
When are you allowed to break?
Totally.
I'm not condoning what happened, but I could see it happening.
Absolutely.
Well, we all saw it happen.
We all did, and all of you have a lot of range of emotions, which we'll get to. Coming up on DBL, the red carpet looks that stunned and the ones that missed the mark. We're talking all about Oscars fashion, but first, what did you think of last night's hosts? We didn't even talk about them yet. Did Amy, Wanda, and Regina get the job done? We're talking about it coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by
Just so you guys know, we also have, we didn't play it, but we do have something of Chris Rock speaking to Jada in 2016 Oscars, making fun of her again. So it's something
he
that
was saying basically that
she was like uninvited when she boycotted.
He said you're boycotting the Oscars, but you're in TV shows, so it's like me boycotting Rihanna's panties.
because I wasn't invited there. And it was a funny joke, but also Jada was really riled up for her husband not even getting nominated.
And that was
I think
a
he
big
in couple films
protest,
that year.
right?
Exactly. So she was trying to stand by his side, and it basically was made a joke out of. And I guess that's what his job was to do, right? To make it like light of the situation. You have a black host hosting the Oscars that was dubbed Oscars So White. So what was he supposed to do in that moment? Unless turn down the hosting job. It's like that's the elephant in the room, that nobody was getting nominated. And then your peers, who also is Will Smith considered a comedian, actor, comedian?
He is a rapper, comedian, yeah.
So that's your peer who does something very similar to you, also acts, and then you're bashing him by taking that role. So some people will be like, "This is the route you went by clowning us for taking a stand."
Yeah, Lulu says, I think no one other than someone like Will Smith with such a feeling of I am Will Smith would walk on an Oscar stage to slap someone. That is ego, my friend, no matter what the reason. See, I thought of it as just pure anger
But Will Smith
and protectiveness.
Hasn't Will Smith told the line, like, he's the most agreeable celebrity, maybe arguably
That's
of all
why it was
time.
so strange.
He's been towing the line perfectly for 3 decades.
He doesn't curse in his raps, Lindsay,
That's
and he
what I'm
cursed
saying.
on the Oscars.
That's what I'm saying.
When he said that F word, I was
He's
like,
been playing this so well for so many years, so like maybe this is like a pent up 30 years of like.
But still not okay.
I didn't say it was okay. I'm just saying, you said learning how to control yourself. I think that he's exemplified controlling yourself.
Until this moment.
Until this moment.
It's so layered. It's like a tiramisu.
Tiramisu's really good.
I don't like
You gotta
tiramisu.
be in the mood for it.
I
though.
I hate
You gotta be in a
tiramisu.
specific mood.
Yeah, I don't like it. You know why? I only like a bite.
so good.
It's
Yeah.
fluffy, but it's a little rich.
It is very rich.
Alcohol flavor.
I don't care for that at all.
Ugh, I've been getting out of that Spider-Man costume. Did I miss anything? There's like a different vibe in here. Probably not.
Oh man, she was hilarious. Welcome back. That was Amy Schumer adding so much needed levity to the whole Will Smith, Chris Rock slap situation. During the opening monologue, Amy poked fun at Will's movie, King Richard. Take a look at this.
After years of Hollywood ignoring women's stories, this year we finally got a movie about the incredible Williams sisters' dad.
Sorry. In another bit, Wanda Sykes walked on stage dressed as Richard Williams. The other 2 women were supposed to be Venus and Serena, but did not get the memo. Regina, who was hilarious, went as Venus, as Tammy Faye Baker, and Amy came down the rafters as Spider-Man. Regina called up single actors like Bradley Cooper, Timothée Chalamet for a COVID test. She also called Will Smith's name and said Jada approved. Later, she gave both Josh Brolin and Jason Momoa a COVID pat-down before they presented. I will be remiss. First of all, I will say I loved the hosts. I loved the hosts. I did feel the pat-down was a bit of a double standard if the genders had been reversed. I hate to be that person.
Oh,
I hate to be that person.
Come on.
But you can't, in this climate, I kind of cringed a little bit at that. And I'm sorry to be that person. But other than that, I thought they were hysterical. What'd you guys think?
I thought they did a fantastic job. And if anything, we'll remember this entire ceremony for the slap, but also the hosts, because I think they did an amazing job. And also, like you said, in that moment, it was so awkward. We were all uncomfortable at our TVs, and so for Amy Schumer to be able to, her and P Diddy, I want to give Diddy his
totally,
props.
Sean Combs.
But for them to be able to reel it in a little bit and help you keep watching, because I think we were all like scratching nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah.
It was like uncomfortable for every single thing that happened after the slap, and so for Amy Schumer to like kind of bring it all together, I thought that's what you call a fantastic host.
Yeah, I said before the Oscars that I think that this trio could be a long-standing trio, like maybe over the next like 3 to 5 years. And I doubled down on that. I thought the balance was perfect. I knew somebody was going to say something about the pat down. I was talking about it as it was happening. I'm like, we're going to hear this. Now, if the roles were reversed, I mean, it's true, but also, you know, Regina Hall had this whole thing, like Like it kind of kept going back to this, I'm single.
Totally.
I'm single, y'all. I'm actively single. You know,
right.
You know, it fit to me.
No, yeah, it did. All right, we can't talk about the Oscars without talking about the night's big winners, right? Coda took home the night's big honor and became the first film produced by a streaming service to win Best Picture. Coda star Troy Kotsur made history, becoming the first deaf man to ever take home an Academy Award. He got Best Supporting Actor. Meantime, Ariana DeBose also broke new ground, becoming the first openly gay woman of color to win an acting Oscar. She won Best Supporting Actress for West Side Story, and here's some of what she said about that in her acceptance speech. Take a look.
Imagine this little girl in the back seat of a white Ford Focus. Look into her eyes. You see a queer, openly queer woman of color, an Afro-Latina, who found her strength in life through art. And that's what I believe we're here to celebrate. So to anybody who has ever questioned your identity, ever, or you find yourself living in the gray spaces, I promise you this, there is indeed a place for us.
And if you didn't know, A Place for Us is a song in West Side. So there's a place for us. Okay, finally, Jessica Chastain took home the Best Actress award for her portrayal of Tammy Faye Baker in The Eyes of Tammy Faye. We also got Jane Campion, first female, not first female, but a female director, very few, of Power of the Dog. What do you guys think of the winners? I thought Coda was very exciting.
Yeah, I'm glad that, you know, Jane has overcome so much in the past few weeks. Anywho, yeah, no, I thought there was a strong diversity of talent. The representation was amazing. There were moments that just were super heartfelt. I do want to just call out this one person, Ben Proudfoot. So he won for Queen of Basketball. He's on the far left. He had to give a little Oscar space so that he was able to go to the actual ceremony. But we were at the, and that's Professor X there as well. Or Director X, I'm sorry. Anyway, he is Canadian. I went to the Canadian Oscar nominee party. My husband's Canadian and so is my manager, so that's fancy. It was random. But he also talked about Brittany Griner. It was so appropriately done. I was just very proud to have met him and to see him win.
Very exciting. What do you think, real quick?
Oh, I thought it was great. We've been asking for diversity and representation. I also think it's awesome when you look at places like Netflix creating different platforms and not the good old boys club where you have to fight your way in the door. There's so many different options coming on these streaming services, and so a lot of different talent we're going to start seeing get that Best Picture award, get the Best Actor award, and that's really exciting.
It is exciting. It is totally exciting. And congrats to all. Dune did very well, too. Coming up on DBL, we're not done talking about those Oscars. We'll tell you our favorite looks from the red carpet. We got to hear yours right on YouTube. We'll be back.
Message from viewer Ian L. asking if an ATM surcharge class action settlement was real. So let's verify. Our source is the class action lawsuit itself, court documents regarding the settlement, and attorney Gary Monty. The class action lawsuit was brought on behalf of cardholders who used a bank ATM that was different than the bank that issued the card. Many of them were hit with a surcharge. The lawsuit alleges the defendants violated federal antitrust laws. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and JP Morgan have all agreed to settlements totaling more than $66 million. However, Visa and MasterCard have not settled, so the lawsuit continues. The final approval for the settlement is scheduled for May 17th.
Monty says these class action types of lawsuits are becoming more common against bigger companies.
That allows people to combine their efforts in a sense and bring an action so that they can afford it, have a lawyer represent them, and then make the company stop the conduct.
So how can you get money? You qualify if between October 1st, 2007 and November 12th, 2021, you paid an unreimbursed surcharge to withdraw cash from a bank ATM using a card issued by a different bank. If this happened to you, you must submit a valid claim by May 11th in order to receive money. So how will the money be split up?
Usually in these types of cases, there'll be a statute, federal or state, that sets forth how much you can get for this particular type of offense and so on.
Because it's so impossible to know how many people will file claims. Right now, there's no payment estimate, but we can verify that, yes, the ATM surcharge class action settlement is real.
that was good. Wasn't that good?
Yeah, Beyonce's always good.
She matched the tennis ball with all the people and the harps. All right, welcome back. It was so good, you guys. And it was in Compton. That was Beyonce opening the Oscars from the tennis courts in Compton that Venus and Serena worked on, with everyone dressed in tennis ball yellow, like I said. Other A-listers also brought their fashion game to the red carpet. Some of the hits, Nicole Kidman, okay? Looking stunning in blue Armani Privé gown. I did. With a ribbon-like bedazzled train. I thought she looked fabulous.
I don't really like it.
Okay, that's fair.
Like a little puff.
Little puff pastry.
Looks like those things, pool floats, you know, you can kind of like.
Inner tube, sure. Oscar winner Ariana DeBose rocked this Valentino crimson crop top with matching wide leg pants and a dramatic floor-length cape. May I say red was everywhere?
Yes,
and green.
I love that she wore pants.
Me too.
Yeah.
And showed, I thought she looked great. Timothy Chalamet, hello. He went shirtless like a matador with this sparkly Louis Vuitton blazer from the designer's women's wear collection.
Knocked it out the park.
Knocked it out the park. C'est très bien, Timothy. And Gaga skipped the red carpet but appeared on stage wearing this sparkly black tux. Were some of these your favorites? Did you have others? What were your favorites?
I like the pants looks going on. You know, I like a good suit. Sometimes I look too stuffy up here when I throw on my suit, but, you know, I appreciate a pant look. So, yeah, I say that those were my winners up there.
What'd you think? Your favorite?
I don't know if I had like a standout.
Yeah.
I thought Jada looked amazing.
Yeah.
I loved that green. Yeah. But I can't, I think I was, too much other stuff was going on.
I feel you.
We couldn't focus on the fashion.
I think you're right. I think you're right. There's some fashion misses on the red carpet, right? Okay, so fans were divided over the Williams sisters. Some weren't a fan of the plunging necklines, but others thought they served up style. It's a tennis joke, everyone.
Well, also Serena's look is also meant to flow. So when you see it, like when you see it in action,
like movement. It should have movement
as opposed to the static. But I thought they both looked great.
Interesting. I didn't love the gloves, but interesting. In case
Lindsay has those gloves.
Oh, really?
Are those the same exact gloves?
Yeah, I believe those are the Gucci gloves.
Kristen Stewart wore Chanel short shorts. I like this to the Oscars. A lot of people thought this look was too cash for the big night. I thought she looked cool.
Yeah, if you're going to brunch.
All right, easy there, Killer. Tracy Ellis Ross took a fashion risk with a low-cut gown. I just didn't like the mermaid cut also. I didn't think it was flattering.
And Tracy usually hits it out the park for me. She always dresses perfectly for her body. This one is, I'm not a huge fan of.
I agree. And then there was this, Billie Eilish. She dressed for comfort in this multi-layered ruffled gown. A lot of people said it just was like a trash bag liner. It swallowed her up. Some people, I didn't know anyone who liked it. Did anyone here like it?
I mean, with the hair and the jewelry, I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that Billie Eilish always wears stuff that's pretty loose fitted, except for like that one magazine cover that we saw.
That's right.
That everybody had a problem with. So she can't win. It's like tight people have a problem, loose people have a problem.
You're right. And she did win for her song. That's exactly right. Well, we'll be right back. Make sure you write in your faves and your misses on YouTube and the app. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Leaders from around the world condemned Russia's invasion of Ukraine last month and accused Russia of violating international agreements. Several social media posts specifically point to the Budapest Memorandum and called on the U.S. and U.K. to uphold their end of the deal.
So, let's verify. Did Ukraine agree to give up its nuclear weapons in 1994 in exchange for safety from a U.S. or Russian invasion?
Our sources are the text of the Budapest Memorandum, the Arms Control Association, the U.S. State Department, and the Wilson Center, a nonpartisan policy forum on global issues.
When the Soviet Union collapsed, Ukraine inherited the third largest nuclear arsenal in the world.
And the Arms Control Association says much of it ended up in Ukraine.
According to the Wilson Center, the newly formed government used the stockpile as leverage to get security guarantees from Russia that it would not attack them in exchange for denuclearizing.
The U.S. and U.K. gave assurances to Ukraine that they would provide aid if an attack ever happened, but it did not guarantee military support. And all four countries agreed to consult each other
if the treaty's commitments ever came into question.
So, it's true. Ukraine did agree to give up its nuclear weapons in 1994 in exchange for safety from a U.S. or Russian invasion. International leaders say Russia violated the agreement by invading Ukraine last month, and it wasn't the first time. In 2014, Russia sent its military into Crimea and annexed it. When the other 3 countries tried to get Russia to meet about what happened under the terms of the memo, Russia didn't show up.
Russia's foreign ministry argued it had a right to disregard the agreement because Ukrainian citizens had recently overthrown their former authoritarian president.
2 years later, Russia falsely claimed the agreement only required them not to use nuclear weapons on Ukraine. Russia has not discussed the memo after its most recent invasion of Ukraine.
With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
House Democrats introduced 3 proposals to send people money to help pay for gas. Up first is the Gas Rebate Act. Under it, checks would come monthly. Individuals would get $100 per month, couples $200, plus more for each dependent. It's all based on income level, kind of like the COVID-19 stimulus plans. Payments would last through the end of the year, though how to pay for those checks doesn't have a clear answer yet. The other 2 plans target big oil as a source for funding. Under the Stop Gas Price Gouging Tax and Rebate Act, people would get a monthly advance tax credit, similar to last year's child tax credit. The money would come from a one-time tax on oil company profits. The size of the payments would be based on how much money that tax raises. A similar bill, called the Big Oil Windfall Profits Tax, calls for quarterly payments instead of monthly ones. The money would come from taxing profits of big oil companies like ExxonMobil and Chevron. Lawmakers estimate single filers who meet the income requirements could get $240 a year, couples $360 a year. And that's connecting the dots. For 9 News Mornings, I'm Alexandra Lewis.
Welcome back. As dementia rates increase in the United States, a recent study is finding that exercise could significantly reduce your risk by 33%. That's my favorite number. That's today's Focus on Fitness presented by QB. According to a neurologist, there's a strong association between cardiorespiratory fitness and reduced risk of Alzheimer's. So what does it mean? If a person were to develop Alzheimer's, it's likely they would develop it much later in life if they were fit. So stay active. QB is a great way to get some quick exercise regardless of physical ability or age. Try their under-desk elliptical. Call 1-800-556-2089 or visit qb.com to learn more. All right, we do have a comment here from Karen. She says, an email, we are to tell our children not to bully, yet an entertainer seems to feel the rules do not apply to them. So many seem to forget that when an adult is the target, it's still bullying. But I could say that really about both people.
I was going to say, who's she referring to?
And Will Smith. You know, violence, of course, is not okay, but yeah, it goes to both. It's interesting. All right, it was lovely chatting with you. Thank you for being here with us. DBL is new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
You all ready for this? Da-na-na.